Woo! What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing out there tonight? We got 5 people watching right now. It is Thursday. It is April 4th, and it has been a long day. Ben, thank you for the heads up. I'm gonna make one little adjustment to that then. How does this come across? Maybe I turn off the reverb. All right. Long day it has been. We got Aaron Alba's band in the chat. We got Ben Coombs, Jay Steen. There's 7 of you watching right now. Give yourselves a little shout. I want to see who all is here. Thank you all for joining in the fun. I hope you guys had a good week so far. Hope you guys had a nice day. It was a long day for me personally. So I am kind of looking forward to the fact that we are doing this an hour earlier this week. Man, what did I do so far? This was just a really long week. I met up with an old buddy of mine. He kind of has been having a little bit of a couple health scares recently, and I just haven't really had much of the time to go hang out with him. So we finally hung out yesterday, and just trying to help him out with some things with his guitar rig and other things, you know, that good stuff. But it was nice to be able to hang out with him. We have not had that many chances to be able to do that, so that felt pretty good. Today was spent in this room in front of the computer, editing today for the demo that's coming on Saturday, which will be the orange Bax band guitar preamp. We got EVH gear. Eric in the house tonight. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. So yeah, flip my calendar. It's the 4th. That's what I said. It's April 4th, didn't I? It's April 4th. Did I say something wrong? I don't know what's going on. It's been a long day. So yeah, I edited the video that's going up on Saturday with the orange Bax band guitar. A lot of fun doing that video. That one should be that one I hope a lot of you guys will end up liking. But there's a lot of other stuff in the works right now. Of course, I told you guys last week about the Matthews Effects festivities that'll be going on the channel. In a couple weeks' time, we're going to be releasing videos of all the pedals that are part of the brand new lineup with all the new features and all the new artwork. It's going to be a lot of fun. Actually playing a couple of them on the floor tonight and give you guys a little bit of a sound bite preview. That reverb you're hearing right now is coming courtesy of the Cosmonaut V2, as well as this pretty cool tape style echo. Sounds pretty good. That is lush, Ben. Yes, guys, it's a very nice reverb. And it's mono because, you know, lush reverb's got to be in stereo, you know. But it's a modulated reverb, sounds really cool. I'm looking forward to doing a lot of the more ambient effects that Rick and Matthews Effects make in this round of videos, because they just are. I had everything chained, everything that I have to shoot next week. I just decided I'm going to chain it all together and I'm just going to test everything out that way. And it was so much fun. I recorded maybe about like 10 minutes of just me like riffing away on these pedals. So we got 5 Matthews pedals, we got a secret pedal, and we got another pedal on the floor that I'm working with right now, which is the double amp distorter from Mid Valley Effects, which I kind of gave you guys a little bit of an idea of what that is. So just a really thick distortion. Turn that up a bit. Hopefully we don't get too much compression on your guys' end. This is totally like a a down tune riffage kind of thing. Definitely something that you plug a Les Paul into. But it would probably sound really good with the Telecaster as well. Thick distortion, all that kind of stuff. All the amp stuff that you're hearing today is going to be the new Neighbor Neuron with the built-in compressor on a clean tone and the built-in speaker simulator. And it's just take it off. There's my direct guitar sound. Put it up. And then the dirt from the double amp distorter from Mid Valley Effects. Good stuff. A lot of fun. Very cool. We got more people in the chat. I want to see who else has decided to show their faces and join in the chat. Come on, people. You're watching. Let us know you're here. We'll be glad to have you no matter where you are in the world. It's very nice. All right. We are rolling. I got my crew here tonight. This feels good. Let's see what you guys have been up to. Jay Steen in the house. Ben Coons in the house. We got EVH and Gear TV. Eric. We got Albus Band. Aaron in the house. You guys. You demands. You demands. Jay, I wish there was a lot more time for family and friends, but it's been nigh on impossible these days to get with friends, just making everything so, just there's so much going on these days. Anyway, Eric, I did not catch your episode with Jen Majura, and I really want to. I have not had the time to go back and watch that, but I really want to check that out. And Ben, really been enjoying your vlog every day thing. That's kind of a cool idea. I thought maybe I'd jump in on that trend with you, but I'm working too much on these other things right now. Last thing I need, you probably see some, dark circly kind of things under the eyes. Copious amounts of coffee in the morning. And yeah, it's been a long day. But it'll all be good in the end. Look who we got in the house in the chat. We got Mid Valley Effects in the house because we got him in the house. I don't know what else to say. Thanks for joining in, guys. Got the double amp distorter running tonight. Great sounding little distortion box. Let's get into the chat because I feel like I've been seeing some questions pop up, and we should probably talk about some of the things that are going on because I do have something that I need to get off my chest, which some of you who probably follow me on Instagram probably have an idea of what that is. Aaron's got brought up something pretty interesting. I've been seeing more and more YouTubers getting blocked on videos, and the whole fair use thing is totally being glossed over. Glenn has a great video on it. He got blocked 5 years and 600K later. The whole fair use thing is a I hate talking politics, but I'm just gonna go ahead and get on the soapbox a little bit here and just speak as someone who has been on the internet since it became a thing. We got people making rules right now all around the world, not just here in the States, but all around the world that don't understand what the internet really is. They don't really understand the technology and they don't understand sometimes they don't even understand what the purpose of the internet is. And so when you have people that act like they know what they're doing, making the decisions to govern the way that business is done over a wide swath of people, a large group of people, it's going to start alienating some people. Now we're starting to get into that thing with, you know, fair use is just one of those things that it's always going to be slightly a legal gray area. Because it just depends on, and this is something to your point, Aaron. He got blocked 5 years and 600K later, which means that video was put up 5 years ago, 600,000 views. He's reached a level where now he's starting to make noise, and he's reached a level where people are starting to pay attention to him. Now that people are starting to pay attention to him, the people are starting to kind of be scared of the fact that they don't have the attention that he has. And so they get clamped down. But we're starting to see it a lot where there's been so many crazy copyright claims when it comes to YouTube videos. And it just doesn't make any sense because at the end of the day, I'll use myself as an example. If I were to play something I wrote, you hear that little riff in a lot of demos I do. I can play that song that I wrote for a certain amount of time before all of a sudden that's where the copyright stuff kicks in. Eric, I know, has had some interesting experiences with copyright claims on some of his videos. It's just a really tricky thing because sometimes depending on your the length of time that a song is played, that's when the sort of threshold kicks in. Because I've played this particular lick so many times in videos that I've lost count. And I've even gone so far as to play like large portions of the song and no copyright claims. Then all of a sudden I do a demo where I loosely play a song that I wrote. And there is, in one particular video, I play a little bit more of that song than I have in the past. And then for the rest of that portion, I kind of play around that idea. Just having some fun with it, you know? And it just becomes this thing of like, where is the line? And I want to know where the line is. There's That's the worst part about the decision making with all of it, is that nobody tells you where the line is drawn in the sand. And so what Glenn had done as sort of an editorial thing and as an education thing, all of a sudden starts becoming a problem. It's pretty stupid. This is a good point that Eric brings up. I was explaining it in another stream. The YouTube content ID system is like a police speed trap. With the software on the digital publisher's end, they pick who they want to flag. And that's very much true. As I had made the point earlier, now that Glenn is 5 years in and the video has reached 600,000 views, now people are starting to get a little bit scared. So, hence why the YouTube content ID is starting to go all over the place. Eric had a nice little thing from Warner Music Group, I remember, where they thought you were playing one Van Halen song, you were actually playing another Van Halen song. That was my favorite. That was my favorite. But now, like, all these things regarding GDPR in the European Union and what could possibly be implemented here in the States, uh, pretty pretty soon. It's like, what does that all mean? What does that really mean? Do you even know what kind of information that people can gather? Because I'll tell you the kind of information I can gather. If all of you watching, there's 10 of you right now, which is a good round number. So let's say 10 of you are watching and you were on, let's say this was on Facebook. There's 11 now. I'm just going to keep working with this 10 number. If there were 10 people watching on a Facebook page, the information that I can gather from you is very vague. As a matter of fact, even in my YouTube analytics, the information I gather on you guys is very, very vague. I get basic, like, bi gender, like, male, female, not getting into the LGBTQ aspect of it. But I get male, female. That's that, and I literally get a percentage. I don't get a whole or round number of what that is. I get a percentage, and that is all that I get. Um, then I get a basic idea of where you guys are in the world. Now, if I click on any territory, I don't get a necessarily a breakdown of where exactly you guys are within your territories. I know because Ben is a friend of mine that he's in Canada. I know because Eric is a friend of mine, he's in Canada. That's how I know that information. But in a whole, like, rundown of information, I'll get, of the 47 something subscribers I have, X percentage is in the US, X percentage is Canada, X is the UK, X is some country in Europe. It'll tell me like Germany and whatnot. That's the extent of the information that I get. I never find out your address. I don't get your email addresses unless you willingly give them to me. And a lot of you guys don't, because I don't have an email list for you guys to sign up for. But what I do have, sponsorship spot, is a Patreon page. So please go over to patreon.com/Sean Pierce Johnson and become a patron today. How do you like that little ad break? I had to throw that in. I was listening to some podcasts earlier today, and I love some of their ad transitions. I find them really funny. But even to that extent, I don't get a whole lot of information on patrons. I get their name, and I might get their address if I need to send them something as part of like a tier. So all that is a long-winded answer of like it is absolutely insane what we are experiencing now in terms of in the whole pursuit of privacy. There is plenty of other things that we need to be worrying about right now than privacy in the way that they think that privacy needs to be conducted on the internet. You just have a bunch of old people who don't know what the hell they're doing, making decisions that they won't have to deal with the consequences of. And it's a damn shame. It's a really damn shame. Oh boy, enough of that soapbox. Let's see. See, I saw something else come up here. Oh, Aaron is talking about having some of the Matthews stuff. I have the chemist. I don't have the surgeon. I do remember the surgeon. The new whaler is a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And let's see. Gonna keep going, keep on cruising, keep on cruising, keep on cruising. Thank you for the compliments on the atmospheric playing, Eric. I really appreciated that. Jay Steen has something brought up. I just heard today that Wampler Tumnus has to change their name. Henning mentioned it on a video, then Brian confirmed it on a message board. Yes, as a matter of fact, the I spoke to Brian about that at the NAM show. I didn't feel like it was anything that I should mention because um, he didn't know what the name for it was eventually going to be because the name that they had come up with to replace it uh, was taken as well. So they could that one wasn't going to work. I don't know, but it's really silly to me that apparently the C.S. Lewis estate doesn't want to let them keep doing it. It's kind of silly to me just in the aspect of like, you know, Chronicles of Narnia is a fairly well loved and well known fantasy story, but I still haven't read it. And there's a lot of people that haven't read it. And it just seems like uh when you understand the connection, it just makes the pedal and the idea cool. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what the heck, uh, why the Lewis estate won't even let them license it. Like straight up, won't even let them pay a small fee to be able to call the pedal Tumnus. It's just silly, man. Some people are just kind of like how I felt about the Tolkien estate for a while. It's just way too overprotective of certain aspects when they know that the literature has had a great effect on people. I don't know why they don't want it to be part of culture. Aaron, this is my Ramos. Whoa, we almost lost the microphone there. This is my Ramos at last. See, the Black Rider, if you will. Seymour Duncan, Nazgul, Sentient, all that kind of good stuff. It's a lot of fun. Just had the strings changed today, or just changed the strings today, so it's been wobbling in and out, but I gotta get in some real play time with these things after you change strings. I don't like the normal changing string stretches. I don't like them. They don't work nearly as well for me. So I just find that good old fashioned playing with them is the best stretching that you can possibly have. A lot of fun stuff going out right there. Let's see what else we got going on. Hey, Janice is in the house. Hi, Janice. How are you? Hope you're doing well, and thank you so much for joining in. Yes, unfortunately, you do have to have 1,000 subscribers for streaming on your phone. Yeah. Eric, I have not seen the content ID software from the publishers, and I actually haven't. I imagine it being pretty tricky. Hmm. Okay, Aaron's brought up something with Rick Beato. Went off on it today. Seems like all the publishing houses just hired someone to read transcribed videos and claim anything that mentions one of their artists. That would be That's some real underhanded major music label BS right there if that's the case right there. Hmm. Beato said Ozzy Osbourne and had an 11 live snippet of Randy Rhoads soloing live and got blocked. Like as an experiment of it, I'm kind of confused. Like he says Ozzy Osbourne 11 times and includes a snippet of Randy soloing. Um, I'm guessing that the live clip would actually flag him if I had to guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's it's crazy. Jay Steen commenting, I think the copyright craziness is horrible. Adam Neely made a point saying if you don't teach the songs or mention them in videos, nobody will play them and they will die out. And that is exactly true. Uh, Aaron, anything that you're in reinvigorating interest in these artists. I'm all for people getting paid if you're using their work, but these 10, 12-second snips, yeah, exactly. So there you go. Apparently, Eric thinks I sounded like a pro. I don't know what I did to sound like a pro, but hey. Anyway, let's talk about the incredible soldering job Fender did circa OLOL. Ah, yeah, we're gonna be talking a little bit about that one. RJ Demad one in the house. What up, bud? Good to see you join in on that. This will make me chuckle. Just sent Quentin a message. I just accidentally created Steve from Boston's live tone in my Helix as I'm watching you. It's an exact clone. Oh boy. That would be fun. You guys should battle with the same tone. That would be fun. I agree, Aaron. Like having LOTR theme pedals and the artwork. It's just like it's part of your influences. Like, how bad could that be? Is there official documentation out there on the 1,000 stubs and streaming on phone? Sandra mentioned that her here tonight, but cannot find official documentation. That was my experience personally. That was the experience that I had. Was I couldn't live stream on my phone until I reached 1,000 subscribers, which didn't happen until after the first GitCon. So I went to Germany not being able to live stream and then came back being able to do it. Okay. Snow said Ozzy and played an 11-second clip of Rhodes, but no Ozzy, but the Osborne State estate. Ah, I got it. Well, they do own the copyrights to those recordings, so that would probably be my guess. If anything, it doesn't even matter if it's just Randy Rhoads. It's still, Ozzy Osbourne's music, which is controlled by his estate. It's controlled by his publishing and record companies. So they're going to be the ones that flag it. You know, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Ah, the Patreon speech. Thanks, Eric. Yeah, that was I wanted to have a little bit of fun right there. Just wanted to have a little bit of fun and possibly get some of you guys to become patrons. I'm gonna be toying around with the tiers in a little bit, because I want to make it more worth the price of admission, so to speak. Because I only have 3 tiers, and um, I just want to. I feel like I want to give you guys better value, so I don't have like a really cheap like $1 tier because you're not going to get anything for $1. And I'm not just even talking about it being something like, me getting something from you guys. You guys give $1. What do you want? A digital high five? Like you guys want something a little bit more because you're supporting me like with your own hard-earned money. So, you guys deserve something rather than just a digital high five. I'll give you a digital high five if you want, which is basically just me shouting out all new patrons on the live stream every week. But at the end of the day, come on, like you guys want something a little bit more for your trouble. So I'll probably make up some new buttons and I'll put that on the first tier. Um, as kind of a cool little bonus for anybody who joins at the $5 level. There's also a $25 level, 20 or $25 level, where we can do like one-on-one hangouts, and chat about whatever needs to be done. And then in terms of really expensive tiers, if you got the big bucks and you want to feel like you're calling the shots, I let you be an executive producer on a video every month. That's if you're $100 patron. Because if you're giving me that much money a month, you deserve at least one chance to have like some creative say in what I do. Not a total amount, not like a huge amount of creative say, but some creative say. We can collaborate. Because that's what music is all about. It's all about collaboration. Mm, drowning it, baby. Drowning it. Quentin James in the house. I should never do that again. What's going on? And Amanda Coombs is in the house. We got brother and sister in the house. Hello, Amanda. How are you? And Quentin, how are you? Yes, Amanda, you just got a guitar. You got a nice little jazz master going on. That's quite a cool looking guitar. I like the finish on it. Glad to see that you are enjoying it. Terry's GG&G just came over from In the Blues stream to come join us. What is going on, people? Okay, so that's that. I went on a little bit of a soapbox earlier about the whole recent copyright strikes thing. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But I'm going to get to kind of the stuff that I kind of feel like I need to get off my chest right now because it's kind of important and something that relates to a lot of the stuff that we've been hearing. I don't know what Guitar Hack's shout outs are. I don't know. I haven't watched his stream to know what it is. Oh no. So Ben says, let's talk about the telly. That's what we're doing. We gonna talk about this telly. So for those of you that follow me on Instagram, you probably saw this little video I took yesterday. I was hanging out with my buddy who I was telling you about earlier. And my friend has this really killer John 5 Telecaster. Just great all around stuff. He got that maybe in like 08, 09. At least that's what when he remembers getting it. Pardon me. It's like a yawn and like stopping a burp. That was weird feeling. Ugh. Anyway, so he's ever since I've known him and ever since he's had this guitar, he says he's had like noise issues with it. So I brought like all my stuff to come help him. I brought my soldering iron and everything. I was gonna try real hard to get this thing working and get it quiet and get it so that he could play it and enjoy it and not have a big problem with it. Next thing I know, I open up the control cavity and I am just greeted. I'll just let to explain this to me. I'm looking at a John 5 Telecaster. Sweet as hell guitar. And I'm looking at these electronics and I'm looking at the solder joints and I literally see no solder, no tinning, no nothing. I don't even see a glob of solder on this lug right here. I see a little bit of solder right there. Various different globs, but no tinning, no care or anything. Now, granted, this guitar is not brand new. It's years old. But I would like somebody to explain to me this bullshit. So that was my unadulterated reactions to opening up the control cavity of this guitar that he paid, he thinks around the neighborhood of like $1,400 maybe. And it's a made in Mexico model. Back when it was available, it was made in Mexico. That should not in any way dictate crappy soldering job. Literally, I wish I took pictures and I wish I could, show them to you here, but it was just absolutely terrible. I literally pulled one of the lead wires that came from the neck pickup to, it has two volume controls. It was going to the neck pickup's volume control. I pulled it out of the lug. There was no solder connecting it. It was literally like the bare, it wasn't even copper wire. That was another thing too. It was like, why is this not copper wire? That's usually what I see in electronics like that. And I literally just pulled it out. And it was just little frays of the wire wrapped around the lug as if to, stick it in and just fold it over and like, okay, that's good enough. And I have owned two made in Mexico Fenders that were not nearly as cool as this guitar. They weren't artist models. And I never had a single issue with the soldering being that bad in the guitar. Now, I bring this up for a couple reasons. One, I bring it up because there's no excuse for something like that. And I would really like someone from Fender to actually like say something and comment on it. And now that I see that in the guitars, I'm going to kind of be thinking that like, I always assumed that Fender's quality control was much better than, other people's quality control, which is another lie that the internet told us. But now I'm gonna be constantly thinking before I go and buy one of these guitars now, I'm gonna wanna open it up and I'm gonna wanna see how the soldering is. I'm not even gonna take it home and play it first because now I'm gonna be worried that from my experience, if I'm buying a guitar model that's sort of towards the end of a production run, am I gonna get a guitar that's actually gonna be quality? Am I gonna get something that's actually gonna last? Personal experience, I wouldn't even think that. Other problems that I saw is that it's just improperly grounded. There was noise issues like crazy, but every time you touch any metal part of the guitar, the noise would go away. They're just it's just it is absolutely terrible. I'm not factoring in the Squires, Terry, because I have never had any issues with Squires and not seen any problems with Squires. Of course, offshore electronics, they're hit and miss sometimes, but I got my Squire vintage modified bass 6, and it's been a fantastic instrument. I've never had any issues with it. I ended up cleaning up the solder joints myself just before going into recording studio so as not to have any problems with it. So you know I've never had an issue. I just more did that as my own kind of precaution uh, going into that. And it just really bothers me that, we're starting to reach this point where we're starting to see better quality coming from other countries outside the United States. And as I've pointed out in several videos, custom guitar, beautiful custom guitar made in Spain, not made in America. High quality woods, beautiful choices in woods. The finishing and the fit on this guitar is an incredible guitar. I have a EVH Wolfgang special that was from the original Made in Japan first run of that series. It's a fantastic guitar. Fender Japan has been legendary for years. I have an Ibanez PGM 301 made in Japan. Fantastic instrument. And I have Korean made instruments from Chapman and Epiphone. And I got USA Gibsons and this in the Jennings Navigator, which is made right here in my home state of California. They're all really great quality instruments. And it's just it's like these bad apples, all these rotten apples always spoil the bunch. And it's something that it cannot happen anymore. And I don't know how many people are actually going to watch this thing after on the replay. And I doubt anybody of any significance at any significant guitar company is actually going to watch that. But I'm just going to say it right now. You people have no reason to not give the consumers quality no matter where the guitar is made anymore. You don't. There's no excuse for it. I should not be seeing unsoldered electronics in an electronics situation where solder is required for reliability. It's required to make the connection in order for something like that to be operational. Like I have a Chinese made Warwick rock bass over there that everybody loves to crap on made in China and Chinese quality. That's one of the best playing instruments that I have ever owned in my entire life. It is a fantastic sounding and playing bass. The Framus that just went, the demo that went up this week, that was made in China. Fantastic quality, fantastic playability. There was no issues with it. My made in China stigma was obliterated years ago. So there is no excuse right now for any company out there, whether it is Fender, Gibson, Paul Reed Smith, small custom shops like Ramos, like Jennings, and the subsidiary brands of Squire, Epiphone, and the SE models. There is no excuse for any instrument company, and quite frankly, any equipment company these days, to offer the customer at the end of it all low quality. There's no excuse for it. There's absolutely no excuse for it. And if you put something out that is any less quality, then you should probably be rethinking where you're having your instruments made and the kind of people that you're trusting to carry forward your brand's name. Enough of that soapbox. I just felt like I needed to say that and get it off my chest. It's something that it shouldn't be happening. Shouldn't be happening. So there you go. Eric brings up a point about the Japan made Squires and stuff. They are incredible. I remember having working in Universal Studios Hollywood outside of just coming out of high school, and there was a cool little jazz band that played in the park, and the guitar player exclusively played 80s MIJ Squire Strats, and they sounded incredible. He let me play one of them, and it was one of those, like, mind-blowing experiences, like, "This is a Squire? Wow." Andrew Brown, we got a new watcher in the house. What's up, buddy? Thank you so much for joining. I'm just coming to this. I'm a bit late. Oh, Andrew, I don't know how honestly I can answer this question for you. Andrew's asking what my thoughts on Kiesel guitars are. Mm. Here's kind of the problem, Andrew. There's probably a lot of you guys watching that know that I worked for Carvin. Uh and by Carvin I mean Carvin Audio, Carvin Amps. Um the people that make the guitar amps and the pro audio stuff. Oh, I'm sinking. I'm sinking. I'm sinking. I'm trying to think of how best I can be how I can really answer this question. I don't really know. Huh. So, okay. Andrew says be real. I'll be as real and as nice as I can possibly be. Uh Kiesel Guitars makes fantastic instruments. They will never get any of my money. Never. Never in any way, shape, or form will any of my money. And I'm just one guy. I'm just one guy. He'll never get any of my money in this for this reason. So when I was working for Carvin, I was their Facebook and Instagram guy. And I did the posts, I managed the pages, and it was a good time. I got to man, I got to go see Steve Vai on the Passion and Warfare tour. Um, I got to work with Steve Vai. I got to shoot him. I still have raw audio and video from that day. Like, oh my god, I shot Steve Vai. Like, I filmed Steve Vai. I didn't shoot him because he's still alive. People, come on. And I got to check out so much cool stuff. I got a Carvin V3 here from my days there. I got the Legacy Drive sitting right here. I got the X1 preamp sitting right here. And it was a cool job, man. I've been a Carvin fan for years. Years. And there's this one particular day where I was doing my rounds and I was making my posts, and I came across a cool video from the LA Amp Show around the time that Carvin reissued the X100B. I think that would have been like 2008. And the focus of the video was the X100B, which I thought, hey, that would make for a great Throwback Thursday post. So I take the video link from YouTube and I put it up on the YouTube page, and it seems to be getting some like decent traction from the Carvin fan base, which is cool. And then I get a call from my boss, who is Joel Kiesel, son of Carson Kiesel, who ran Carvin Audio. And he says, "Hey, you need to take that down." And I'm really confused. Apparently, someone at Kiesel Guitars had seen the video, and you want me to pull the hoodie tight? Kind of like that. I don't want to do that. This is my, like, got my gloves out face. So we had to take it down because apparently there were Carvin guitars in the video. And because there were Carvin guitars in the video, that was promoting them. And there wasn't supposed to be any cross pollination of whatever. I really hate to have to share these details because they're just details that you don't need to know these things. You don't need to hear about it. But had to take the video down because someone from Kiesel threw a fit and they were threatening legal action. That happened 2 more times in my time working as the Carvin social media rep, where someone from Kiesel saw something on our page that had very vague mentions, vague, to the point of like it's a logo on a guitar player's headstock that's out of focus. You can't even tell it says Kiesel or Carvin on it, and we have to take it down, or otherwise they're gonna sue, or they're gonna do something legal. The final straw from it came on a very sad day. It came on the day that we all found out that Alan Holdsworth passed away. I read like 10 different obituaries from various different publications on Alan Holdsworth, and I found the best one. I just figured this is the best one. This is the one that I want people to send to, because for a while, Alan played Carvin amplifiers. And I thought for someone so significant, it would just be terrible for us to not say something about it. Now, if you go to share a link from a website in Facebook, chances are it uploads a preview image to go along with your link. This particular day, Facebook wasn't working like that, which is, fun and all. And Facebook wasn't showing a preview link, so I guess it didn't load, so I didn't see one. Apparently, though, the image that did actually end up showing up when you went onto the Facebook page was an image of Alan with his signature Carvin. I did not know that until hours later when I was called again and told to take it down because someone at Kiesel had thrown a fit about an obituary for a guy who died. But it was more important to them to keep some silly conflict alive than it was for us to pay tribute to a guy who was a game-changing guitarist. And that was the last straw for me. 3 strikes, you're out. It's like if you can't put that aside, and you can't just be cool and let us all celebrate the life of someone who was an amazing guitar player and contributed so much to music. If you cannot put anything aside for that reason, I don't want to have anything to do with you. And I don't want to have any sort of association with you. I don't want to have it's so sad. It's so sad that it had to come to that. And it just ruined everything for me. And there was a time where I was really heavily considering buying a custom guitar from them, and it was a little bit before my time working with Carvin, because they're great instruments. And for as much of a, headache as that whole thing was, the turnaround of the perception of Carvin and Kiesel Guitars of that company is something that everybody doing business should look at, because it's astounding. They took a guitar brand that was really more of an old guy's brand, and turned it around to be this hip young brand that is relevant. It's very relevant, highly relevant. And that's major props to that. But when it all comes down to that, like, that just doesn't it's just the worst possible thing that, like, a guy dies and you can't just forget about it for like 1 second. Come on. Like, you can't just let the conflict go. You can't just celebrate some guy for the fact that he was an amazing musician that influenced a lot of people and had relationships with people. At the end of the day, I after that experience, it was, I will never give them any of my money. I will never be able to look them in the face and be able to say, like, "Yep, that's a company I wanna be a part of. That's a company that I wanna give my money to." It's just not gonna happen. So, Andrew, you asked me to be real, and I was real, and I really didn't like the fact that I had to be real, because this is just not something that I wanted to share. I knew I would have to. I knew I would have to. And I appreciate you letting me be real. And, if you lost some respect for him, you know, I'm just giving you I'm just giving you the way that I experienced it. I'm giving you my perspective. So when is the next Kiesel demo? Eric, you jerk. Oh boy. Yeah, it was, you know, I I I hate to have to put it that way, but it is what it is. They're not going to get any of my money. And if you continue, people, Andrew just said it right there. People matter more than products. That's what that's what matters. This business is music in general. The music business is all about business is all about relationships. It's us being human beings to each other. But I guess at the same time, being human beings to each other means being total asshats to each other from time to time. I don't know. But yeah, man, I'm happy that I could, relay this information to you. I'm not happy. I'm actually not happy. But, you asked, and I do not owe you guys BS. I owe you guys honesty. That was my pledge when I started doing this thing full time, is I owe you guys honesty. And if I'm not giving you the honest to God answer, then what am I giving you? You know? So there you go. I want to roll back up before we got on this whole soapbox thing, and talk a little bit more about this. So we've got let's see. Right where you asked your question. I want to get back up there. Okay, there we go. Um Quentin says, if a communist worker makes a mistake, the boss kills him and his family. Yeah, probably true. Um, Aaron blind tested a customer on a China-made Fender Nashville Tele versus an MIM and blew his mind because the China neck was fire. China, Indonesia, all make quality now. I'm with you 100%, and they do. And Quentin, you're right. Like, mistakes do happen, but this is just one of those mistakes. That was a mistake on a whole nother level, really. So that's the honest to God way that I feel. Apparently, Aaron has also had a terrible Kiesel experience. So there you go. Janice has been to the Carvin stores. I love the Carvin stores. They were so much fun. I loved going to those stores. Yes. We're talking about the Kiesel split here, Aaron. Yes, the brothers did split it and all that stuff. Uh, A douche canoe. That's a new one. I like that. Aaron's got a Carvin PA. My Kiesel guitar experience was terrible. You should probably get into some detail on that one for me, buddy. So yeah. Eric said, "I do stuff for this live for like this for a living. Totally not your fault. Facebook will scan a web page for the first image on a page, and it finds a corrupt file. It'll grab anything. Not your fault at all. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. You know, it totally was just one of those ghost in the machine things. I couldn't have controlled it, but I just wanted to find the best of possible obit, and that was the one that was the best. So anything on that page, and there might have been a dozen carbon photos further down the page. There very well could have been. I don't remember what was on there, but you know. And Andrew, you know, I'm sorry that, you know, I had to be the one to break the glass for you, but that's my honest to God experience with it, man. It's a shitty experience, but you know, there you go. Okay, so this is something I've not heard. Joss at Guitar Brothers had an endorsement with Kiesel, had two guitars made for him, played them, and despite him agreeing to the terms of playing them on his socials, once the YouTube picked up and wait, what's going on? Agreeing to the terms of playing them on his socials once the YouTube picked up and he demoed other brands, they canceled him and had them sent back. Oh, that's really? That's some BS right there. I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, when you're a guy that demos. I mean, I have a relationship with Epiphone now and Gibson, and they're not pissed off that I'm demoing other brands. You know, at the end of the day, they know where my home is. You know, that's really crappy to hear about Joss. He's a monster player, man. He is a monster player. Janice, to call it, no, that's Amanda. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm just starting to lose it from the story here. It was an emotional roller coaster because you don't want to deal with stuff like that, and all you're just trying to do is do right, you know. But you know, circumstance is circumstance. You know, I did not hear about this thing with Joss though. That's pretty messed up. You're welcome for the honesty, Eric. You're welcome. And yes, Terry, honesty is the best policy, especially in this whole thing, because that's what you guys, you know, that's what you guys come here for. You come here for honest gear reviews, and I try to do that. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, you know, because sometimes we do get paid for these videos. Like I will be getting, you know, payment for some of the demos that I'll be shooting next week. But at the end of the day, you know, it doesn't matter. They pay me for my time and my effort, but I still owe you guys honesty. You know, if anybody has any problems with that, then I don't want to do business with them. Aaron says, I'm not even going to get into the colossal mess up they did on my friend's custom order and then tried to tell him he had to pay more for their F up despite having the itemized listing. Oof. Yikes. Mm. Eric, from EVH and Gear TV. I know some people that were at NAM and met some manufacturers for the first time, and they were far from kind. No money will be given to those companies from these people. Yep. Hmm. So, Aaron, did your friend threaten the lawsuit? Yeah, Jay, I guess the Carvin story does go with the title of this live stream. In addition to that debacle with the Fender Telecaster's solder job. Ugh, man, so stuff. Well, Ben's enjoying the show tonight. Fantastic. It's been full of gossip and a bunch of me. It's like a total opposite of what you see from me here. Just complaining a whole lot. It's kind of good. It's like, you know, anger management therapy or something like that. I don't know. Andrew, thank you, man. I'm glad that no apology is needed, but it's still like I'm not here to harsh anybody's gig, bro. Total California right there. I'm not here to harsh anybody's gig, bro. You know, I'm just here to be honest with you guys, and I'm here to have some fun. I'm here to talk about gear. And if you guys have questions about gear, I want to answer them, but I'm not here to like ruin your time. Come on. Ugh, lame. Oh, here's some interesting stories. Eric from EVH and Gear. At my old work in there we go. Gotta go back up. News team posted a story about a car wreck, and the image it displayed was like a happy time with kids and family at a picnic. Oh, that's fun. One more. The news team posted a story about an offender and did not have an image to upload. It used his own profile pic. Imagine that. Uh oh. Whew. Mm. Oh, flip my calendar in the back. That's what we're talking about. That's it. Guys, come on. Give me a break here. It's been a long week. That's the kind of trolling that I like, though. Good job, guys. Oh boy. It's a history lesson tonight from RJ to Mad One. Yep, all info is good. Info good or bad, whatever. Oh, that's so nice from Eric. This is yet another killer stream. Yay, thanks, buddy. I owe Sandra Lee for this one. Just before she crashed, she said SPJ is live. I'd be lost without her and miss great shows. Aw. Give it up for the wives and girlfriends. Yes. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you joined in tonight, buddy. It means a lot. We should talk sometime soon. I actually need to ask you a question, so I'll probably send you a Facebook message tomorrow. I need some help with something, and I think you might be able to help me out. Okay, so Aaron's like they sent the wrong wood and colors, then told him it was the right wood, clearly not, and the wrong color, so they wanted more money. He said he'd contact his lawyer, so they refunded. A lot of times, if you want to, you know, get something done, threaten legal action, I guess. I think that's something we've learned tonight, huh? Hmm. Okay, that explains it, Amanda. Amanda's a banker. That's why she's. Would it make you feel better if I changed it right now? I'm hooked up to in ears right now. I'm not going to do that. Is it a trigger warning? Quentin seems to think it's a trigger warning. My calendar's on my PC. It self flips. I The reason I go old school analog with the calendar is one, I don't want anybody being able to, see everything that I'm doing. Uh I don't want to get hacked like that or anything, which I've been hacked twice in the last 3 weeks, which has been fun. So, it's all that good. Oh, hey Quentin, your VCR still blinks at midnight. That's amazing because my VCR doesn't have a clock on it. Wow, man. I will mess with time, Amanda. I am a time traveler. I am the time lord, damn it. I am the time lord. We'll trust that the calendar will be changed next year or we're going legal. Okay. Yep, I'll do it. Uh, it's okay. Screw it, folks. Back to February. What if I put it at December? I think putting it at December would actually be really funny because some people might be watching and thinking like, "Wait, do I what?" uh, that might be a little Easter egg from now on is like, what what month is the calendar on this week? Yeah, Aaron, I understand this exactly. I get it, man. It just it's just stupid. It really is. And, you know, oh well. What are you gonna do? Would that make it a long December? Bad joke. I don't it's such a bad joke. I don't get it. Love you. What if they watch next March? It's period correct. That's true. That's true. This would be a period piece, but it would be some. Oh, it's a Counting Crows reference. I don't know much Counting Crows, man. I'm sorry. Anyway, Quentin, thanks for joining in, man. I really appreciate you sticking around for some of this and join us next week. Please come back. Be happy to have you. Have a good night. Uh Now that we've kind of had a little bit of a row and we've been talking a lot, let's bring the guitar back into play. Let's get some of this echo going. Terry got it. This is fun stuff. Anyway, that's fun. Oh, it's kind of nice to put some 9 Inch Nails in there every so often when you need to. Very nice. We are just about to enter the month of Guild. Last Ibanez was just terrible. That's really funny. Speaking of Guild, I got a contact there now. Gonna see if we can work something out. That should be fun. I heard a story on Detroit radio where a guy choked a bagger in a grocery checkout for tossing chips around and slightly crushing them. Oh, I was a grocery bagger. That would be scary. Oh man, I don't want to have that happen to me. I wouldn't mind a white Polara S100. That'd be fun. Oh, yeah. If it was a guitar on my list of must-want haves, the Guild Polara, and they went up in price, 200 and 250 bucks. Ooh, yeah, man. We'll see about that. Have I played a Voyager from Jennings yet? Yeah, I've played both versions. I've played a Voyager and a Voyager Deluxe, which is the semi-hollow. It's good stuff, man. He makes a great Chad makes a great guitar, which actually goes to Jay's comment of how many people are playing the stuff. Jay, let me kind of put it to you this way about what Chad is doing with his guitars. I met Chad actually. It was 3 years ago. I met him, and he was like kind of just getting started. And I wasn't sure exactly how the guitars were going to work out for me. But, I was interested because obviously, why wouldn't you be interested? And when we reconnected back in October, he was talking about, this guitar. And we were going to, try to get one so that I could, I could have it. And the thing about it is, like, Chad builds in a very like Fender style, or as I'm kind of calling it now, because I just hate the connotation, is California style instruments, with Gibsons being Midwestern style instruments or East Coast instruments. But these are a decidedly West Coast. And I know that my buddy Stephen from the Pedal Zone has one. And what it all boils down to for me with what Chad is doing with his guitars is they just feel good. I have not been a Fender fan for much of my life at all, really. And this guitar just feels great. The neck is super comfortable. And he just puts so much thought into it. He actually, like, I feel when it comes to these guitars that he really does his homework and he tries to find just some really great pieces of wood. They feel really solid. The fret edges are nice and rolled off. There's a very cool simplicity to them, but they're quality instruments. And that's why I think now that he's been around for a few years and he's done some other work for some other people, that he's starting to get his name more out there. It's just these guitars just feel fantastic. They're just beautiful guitars that sound great and are a lot of fun to play. Andrew, thank you for joining in tonight, my friend. Hate to burst the bubble, but I appreciate the fact that you appreciated the honesty. Come back next week. We'll see you same time, okay? Have a good one. So yeah, that's why the Jennings are starting to come out. It's just great stuff. Just really fantastic instruments. Well, everybody, we're starting to hit almost the hour and a half mark. I kind of like it like that. You know, the fact that it's an hour and a half and it's not 10:30. Sure, some of you guys on the East Coast are appreciating that as well. That since it's not going to be, 1 in the morning. Yeah, man, this is fun. I like this time. I think we're gonna keep it. Eric, thank you so much for joining in, buddy. I really appreciate you watching, and I'll shoot you a message sometime tomorrow. Guys, just so you know, here's a couple little things, a couple quick things, announcements here. If you're watching on the replay, thank you for watching on the replay. That's always appreciated. Please do consider clicking the subscribe button, giving the thumbs up, leaving some comments, and sharing your thoughts. Next week, we will be back, same bat time, same bat channel, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. on the East Coast for all you East Coast folks out there. We will be doing more of what we have been doing. If you enjoyed it, please do join the Patreon, patreon.com/Sean Pierce Johnson for all the good kind of stuff. This Saturday, Orange Back's band guitar demo is going to be going up first thing in the day. You will see that in your feeds. Hopefully, if you have notifications turned on round about midnight, so those of you in the UK can watch that bright and early in the morning at 8 a.m. Next week, we will be doing some more demos as well. I'm going to try to have a demo up of the Mission expression pedal that I have been using over the course of the last few days. Of course, we got plenty of other stuff coming up next Saturday. That will be a fun one, though, because we're going in depth with the new neighbor Neuron. So we got a lot of cool stuff coming up. It is going to be a good time. Has been a lot of fun. Tons of stuff coming up and even more coming up, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So with all that said, guys, thank you so much to all of you. We had Eric from EVH and Gear TV, Aaron from Alba's Band, Ben Coombs, Amanda Coombs, Jay Steen, Janice Lala, Terry's GG&G. We had more people. Andrew Brown was joining us for a little while. We had even more people I know for a fact that did not leave comments. You do not have to leave comments in the chat. That is perfectly fine. If you just want to watch along, that is cool. But please, we want to know that you're here. You can get involved, and we want to know that you are here. For the meantime, I will see you guys on Saturday for the Stompbox Saturday craziness. If you are friends with me on Facebook, you will know that that onslaught is coming. And I will see you guys next Thursday, 8 p.m. Pacific, and we will have another live show. Thank you all so much for joining in. I very much appreciate it. RJ the Mad One was another one that I missed, and I'm not going to make sure that I don't miss you. There we go. So, guys, you have a good night, and until next week, my friends, I wish you all great tone, happy stomping, have an awesome weekend. I know I will, because it's WrestleMania weekend. Bye.